Hi there, and welcome back to another theme guide from Beyond. My name is Grace, and today we'll be looking at the theme of poverty and social injustice in A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. Throughout the novella, Dickens depicts the huge gap between the rich and the poor in Victorian England. Scrooge represents the wealthy upper classes. At the beginning, he shows no sympathy for the poor, arguing that those who can't support themselves should either be in a prison, a workhouse, or dead. His attitude is based around this assumption that people are poor because of their own laziness. However, Dickens shows the reader that this is not the case. The Cratchits are poor, but it's clear that this is through no fault of their own. Bob is a hard-working, honest, and kind person, and his eldest son Peter also works to support the family, but they still struggle for money simply because they are badly paid. Tiny Tim represents the thousands of innocent children who lived in poverty during Victorian England. His potential death shows the reader that the lives of the poorest people are dependent on the compassion found from those who are more fortunate. As Bob's employer, Scrooge is in a position to improve the lives of the Cratchits, but it's up to him to decide whether or not to do so. Dickens shows that a relatively small amount of money for someone like Scrooge could be completely life-changing for someone like Bob. Dickens shows the reader that if everyone shares some responsibility for the welfare of the poor, then all of society would benefit. The appearance of ignorance and want exemplifies this idea. Through them, Dickens shows that children who are born into poverty and denied access to education have no chance of improving their situation and will be stuck in poverty for their whole lives. He argues that generosity towards the poor is beneficial to all of society, as it would break the cycle of poverty. The alternative is for these poor children to grow up into desperate adults who turn to crime to make a living. Let's look at this theme of poverty and social injustice in context. There was a common belief amongst the wealthier people in Victorian times that poverty was simply a result of laziness. The Poor Law of 1834 removed any government support for people who struggled for money. Their only option was to enter a workhouse, which would provide food and shelter in exchange for hard manual labor in cruel conditions. Those who were in debt would be jailed in debtor prisons until the money was paid off. Scrooge refers to these establishments when he refuses to donate money to the charity collector in Stave 1. Scrooge's description of the poor as surplus population refers to an idea called Malthusianism, which Dickens strongly opposed. Malthusianism claims that poverty is caused by an excess of people, and the only way to reduce poverty is to reduce the size of the population. Dickens had first-hand experience of the suffering of the poor. His own father was put in a debtor's prison when Charles was only 12 years old. He was taken out of school and made to work as a result, which gave him a strong sense of injustice. He realized that poverty was usually the result of bad luck or unfortunate circumstances rather than laziness. Dickens' books are full of social commentary on the gap between rich and poor. He went to visit many places where poor people lived and worked and wrote about the things that he witnessed. And his descriptions were often shocking to the upper classes, who were ignorant of how much the poor really suffered.
The information in this video can also be found in written form in our A Christmas Carol revision guide. You can buy a digital copy of this from the Twinkle website using the link in the video description. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.